Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today, and thank you so much for having me, Delhi. Um, so, of course, I'm joined by the great Sanjeev Kapoor. He needs no introduction at all. Good afternoon, Sanjeev. Thanks for joining us today.
Thank you, Smita. Thank you.
Great. So, Sanjeev, I'm just going to jump right into it because I know we have just 30 minutes, and I know that everyone is very eager to hear from you. Sanjeev, to start off with, of course, like Vinny was mentioning, the lockdown has been very devastating for India's restaurant community, for the F&B community, and people have been struggling to figure out what next and what to do. But during this time, you have also launched a bunch of different projects. You've created new initiatives. So could you start off by telling us a little bit about what you've been doing during this time?
Right. Thank you very much, Smita. Thank you. And thank you to ICF, Mr. Bhandari, and all the community of chefs for arranging this and inviting me and giving me this honor. Thank you very much. Past 7-8 months, actually, initially, when the lockdown started, there was not much that one could do. But I realized that the only way to do was that I realized there was need for food, which many people needed. And I started by working with different people, restaurants, caterers, flight kitchen, hotels, whoever had their kitchen. I started coordinating food for different people, starting from Taj Group of hotels, where we started supplying to hospitals all across India. We also catered to BMC. I also worked with different caterers and different restaurateurs to supply food to police personnel, to railway police, to different people. And of course, my association with Akshay Patra, we were continuously preparing food and distributing food. So I would say that initial 1.5 month, I was busy. Everybody I would speak to, people would say, "Oh, have you seen this show? Have you seen this on Netflix?" And I would say, I had actually not seen anything. I didn't have time for anything. I was so busy. So I would say that once that settled, I realized that we are in for a long haul. So we had to take a few corrective actions. We had to quickly look at what was happening, what was not. So fortunately, our part of business, it's very well diversified. We are in content, we are in appliances, we are in cookware, television channel, restaurants. Fortunately for us, the home cooking sector was, after things started to open up, was not affected, I would say, at all. Actually, there was more growth.
Absolutely. Everyone's been so excited about cooking at home and discovering their age-old recipes and that sort of thing.
Correct. And the content side also was something that grew exponentially, I would say, initially. And so much so, I think our YouTube channel, the views in first couple of months grew up by 250%. So wow. it was a very good situation to be in. Overall content consumption was high. So we were lucky, I would say that. So we were creating more content. We were looking at creating more content for people, for products, for many different, I would say, users in that sense. And then I thought that we have to do more. And we started. I worked on two initiatives. I realized that health is going to become very big, and as a chef, that I'd always been thinking. So I actually worked on without stepping out of my home. I signed a joint venture with a pharma company to work on products for in nutraceutical side. So I'm very happy to say that we've started working on that. And so that was one initiative. Yeah, thank you. And the other initiative we just recently launched was on online Culinary Academy, which again I wanted to do on the health food side. On actually, I wanted to launch with foods for diabetic people and things like that. But we realized it was taking more time than what we had envisaged, because there's more research that is needed. So we quickly launched a few other courses on immunity boosting, how to start up your own food business from home with restaurant food, home style food, things like that. So I've been busy.
Yeah, fairly busy. I think definitely more busy than a lot of us have been for sure. I think Sanjeev, a lot of people who may be listening in might be struggling at this point in time because it's sort of a time when a lot of people have chosen to pivot with their careers. So they may not want to work in professional kitchens anymore, but they might want to run their own businesses. And of course, starting a business is completely different from working in a kitchen. And I think many entrepreneurs have a bunch of struggles, but I think the main struggles are capital and, of course, finding the right partners. But what, according to you, you've started so many businesses and you've had so many experiences. What, according to you, were your biggest challenges?
So I would say that, and I've maintained this all my life, that no matter who you work for, whether it's for a hotel, restaurant, or yourself,
Mhm.
you're always an entrepreneur. So work like an entrepreneur always, and you would not have a problem of changing over from a job to your working for yourself. So if you work with that mindset, and what does it take? It takes understanding of the skill that you have, which is all chefs are brilliant with the skill. I think beyond that, we need to have understanding of that, and not restrict ourselves no matter where we work, and have that understanding of have the ability of converting everything into money, because that's what business is. It's not only the salary that you get, but all the cost, all everything. Even so, I remember when I used to work as a chef in a hotel, and I would go into the main kitchen and talk to the chefs, and I say कि ये आपने ये जो pilot है इतना तेज क्यों चला रखा है? Now pilot is something which is meant to be kept on so that you don't waste time and things like that. But in a lean period, you really don't need to keep that on. And I would say sir pilot ही तो है, burner थोड़ी चल रहा है. And I would say that घर पे अगर आप चला सकते हो ऐसा कभी, would you ever have that even on sim and leave that? Never do that, right? So the things that we are taught at home, or the things that we do at home, if we start doing at work, I think that's the first lesson in entrepreneurship that starts to happen. For my, I would say that I was lucky when I was working. I had bosses like Mr. Bhandari here who encouraged me a lot, and one thing he always encouraged me was to do more and more research, to work on and learn more, have cross-sectional knowledge, not just the core knowledge or the skill, limit that to skill. So I think that is one of the biggest thing, keeping your eyes open, understanding everything. So it's not only that skill that you have, it's not only the food safety FSSI rules that you want to know, it's not only the hygiene that you know, it's not only the quality of ingredients that you know, but at what price. So I remember that in a hotel, my purchase committee, they used to say that, okay, select one of these or three different rice from the samples that we are sending. And I would say, no, give me the price also, give me the cost price. And they said, no, as a chef, we only want you to select. I said, no, it can be good at a price. So I will not do it blindly. It's not sensible. And I fought for it. They said, no, as a chef, you only focus on that. And it didn't make sense to me. So I would say that for becoming an entrepreneur, I would say that one of the biggest thing is the inertia, the fear that what would happen. That first step is the biggest thing. Second is that fear of failure. पहले तो कैसे करेंगे, फिर अगर करेंगे तो गड़बड़ तो नहीं हो जाएगी, would we fail or not? I would say that whenever you do anything, there is bound to be some chances of failure. Be prepared for it. When I say be prepared, it's a mental thing. It's you cannot summit the Mount Everest in first go, right? You have to try. We did not even learn how to walk just getting up one day and say, okay, now I'm walking. No, we fell many times, whether it was riding a bicycle, whatever we did, we failed. So be prepared to fail, and it is okay to fail. And once we are prepared with that, I think the next steps are easy. And one thing I can say: start small, because don't keep on waiting for very big opportunity. Start small, build on it. Start small, build on it, and that's I would say is the long and short of it. There are multiple things, but we can continue with the questions
Sure.
that you have.
Sure. No, I think a lot of people struggle with actually launching their idea because they wanted to be perfect, and they wanted to, surpass all their multiple levels of checks and balances before they launch it out into the world. So what would be your advice to someone like that who's, who's waiting to sort of perfect their product before it goes out?
Yeah. So one, nobody knows what perfect is. That's one thing. And biggest of companies. So let's look at the biggest company. Let's look at Apple, right? Now, it as a company, they have not been able to master their maps. Google has always been ahead of them. Now,
Absolutely.
look at somebody like that, or the biggest company in India, telecom. We have Geo. Do they not have problems when they launched Reliance before it was Jio? Did they not have problems? Of course they had. Everyone would have problems. The problem, I think, with most chefs is they somewhere think that perfection is a virtue. I think it can be a big impediment.
Hmm.
I think because when you say that this is perfect, what it is for you. And I've also seen, because as part of the industry, that there's a lot of peer pressure. वो क्या कहेंगे, वो क्या सोचेंगे, कुछ नहीं. घर का चूल्हा आपने चलाना है, जो आपने करना है आप सोचो. कोई आपको आके चेक नहीं दे रहा है, वो जिसको सोचना है सोचने दो. I have gone through this personally. I can tell you, when I started TV, most chefs used to laugh at me कि ये क्या करते हैं, ये कोई छाछ बताने की चीज है टीवी पे, ये तो अवार्ड विनिंग शेफ है, इसको तो ये नहीं. But I exactly knew what I was doing. I was not. So I would say, don't be under any pressure, be it family, be it your own pressure, or be the peer pressure of your friends and colleagues and whoever. Start small. I had a session yesterday, and it was on artificial intelligence and NLP and all, and there was a speaker from Melbourne, and Kath, she was talking about that gone are the days of launching anything big and with perfection. And her term was, she says, test and learn, test and learn. He says, start small, test, learn. And he says, that's the way to scale up. And I would say that's the best way to do it. And because it's something that gives you an opportunity to correct course quickly. So don't wait for perfection, because it may be too late.
Great. I think that's very, very valuable advice for a lot of people who are going to be looking at starting their own ventures. Sanjeev, of course, you own a food empire. You have a retail line. You have your shows. You have so many things that you do. What, according to you, is success?
I think success to me is two things: freedom and joy. Joy that you have the ability to give. To me, that's what I would say. And joy is not what you get; joy is what you give. So to me, success is that you have more ability to give joy to more people. So that's I would say. So personally, freedom and ability to give joy is success to me.
Right, definitely. I think that's so important, especially for someone who may be looking at starting their own business. Just that human aspect of being kind to, whether it is someone in your business or someone you're working with, is absolutely essential. Sanjeev, of course, I'm shifting gears now, just to speak about another area that a lot of people struggle with, is social media. Social media is this big bad world. People are very intimidated by it. Some people are pros. Some people don't know, are intimidated and don't know how to sort of maneuver everything that's happening between Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, all of that. Um, do you have any tips for someone who's sort of venturing out and trying to make a name for themselves on social media?
Very, very good question, Smita. I think chefs need to reach out to more people, because business is all about outreach, and bigger outreach you have, bigger business you would have. And social media gives you that opportunity to do that. So I would say that any chef, no matter where they are, what they are doing, they should start looking at opportunities of creating bigger outreach than what they have today. And again, same, first, get in. To win, you have to be in. So most people I know that I still remember, this was many years ago. I was on a flight with Chef Kunal Kapoor, who's also on TV, and he didn't know me that well. And I saw him on flight, and we met and in the alley, and I told him I had just launched a YouTube channel, and there was a foot in the door. Nobody knew what YouTube was. There was no money, there was nothing. And then I spent almost 3 to 4 hours talking to him that he should get onto YouTube. And he says, "Sir, kya hoga? Kaise karunga? Sir, ye." And after that, for almost 4 years, every time I would meet him, I would tell him, "Kunal, tune shuru kiya?" And one day he did. And after that, after about 2 years, he told me, "I wish I had started it when you told me. I should have." So it is important to get in. It is important to make that, again, inertia, right? You have to get over that. So in social media also, don't get intimidated with the what is happening, how big it is. There would always be somebody who would have a bigger outreach than you, but it's okay. It's okay. So start small. Again, you have one follower, good. Start by following people. You may be following 50 people. You may not even have one person who would follow, but that's okay. Be consistent with your approach. Get in early, and be consistent with your approach, whatever you're doing. Because why do people? How are you able to create community? When you are relevant, when you are sharing, it could be either knowledge or something of interest. So if you can start sharing, you will see that it has a great stickiness. People come to you because there is something that you have to say. It could be a comment, it could be your point of view, it could be content, it could be recipe, it could be a joke, it could be anything. And so create, and you are a content person, you get that how important it is. But make sure it is you. Don't copy, don't follow, don't say, because in leadership it is important that you lead. So you will only have followers if you think like a leader. Followers don't come just like that. You have to be a leader for people to follow you, otherwise you will be following. So then be okay with being a follower. Then don't think that I can create outreach. So think like a leader, have views, have comments, have something to share, and make a difference in a way that people will come back to you.
That's great advice, I think. Thank you so much for that, Sanjeev. Another thing that I want to ask you is, another challenge that a lot of young people have, especially, tied into social media, is also networking. And at this point, I think it's especially pertinent because, we're all sitting in our houses. It's very tough to just go to an event and, chat someone up and, give them your card and that sort of thing. So do you have any tips for how, if you're looking to expand your network, if you're looking to make contacts in the industry, how does one do that, especially, considering the scenario that we're all in?
I think it could not have been better, I would say. I don't see that as a challenge. I think what this pandemic has done, it has equalized the playing field. So it's level playing field for everyone. So today, Sanjeev Kapoor or any other chef who just became a chef is at same level. So it is equal playing field. So it's a great situation to be in, and this gives you one-on-one opportunity. So this is something that I learned when I was doing when I was a chef. Not many people know that I joined a course which was very close to our hotel, Narsi Munji Institute of Management Studies, Masters in Marketing Management. And I remember on sales and marketing. So on sales, we were taught that Sales is like knocking on 100 doors. Out of those 100 doors that you knock, only 10 may open. And when there's 10 may open, only one may get converted to sale.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what happens to those 99 that you could not convert? Start knocking them again till you have made sure that all doors have been opened. So with an opportunity, with a medium that's digital, where you can reach out, I would say that today be consistent and do it as a process. Don't say that, oh, I did it once. No. It has to be a process. If you want to get in, then if you want to create a larger area of influence, then you have to reach out to more people. Start knocking on those 100 doors every day till they open and get converted. Be consistent with your approach. And more opportunities that you have. So it's somebody like me, right? I would look at opportunities and make sure that I'm at the right places. For it, ICF does a conference influencing the chefs, and I'm here, right? I could have easily said, "Oh, okay, it's 2:30, and we wanted to record this session, right? And we've been trying for 2 weeks. I didn't have time, which means it would have been so easy for me to say that no. But I know that how important. So we have actually list of participants at this moment is 100. Now these are the 100 doors that I am knocking. If Sanjeev Kapoor can knock, you can knock too.
Lovely. That's superb. Sanjeev, another question for you right now, just relating to entrepreneurship. One thing that a lot of people are struggling with is that, now I know that I don't want to work for someone else. I want to work for myself. But I don't know what to do. I'm struggling with the idea of this food business. So if you had to start a food business in this market, I know you've already signed a lot of deals and you have started some food businesses. But if you had to start a food business in this market, what would that be?
Right. So I would say, forget about me. Each person has their own uniqueness. Each person has their own strength. Identify what your strength is, and could be multiple. It could be more than one. Then see where you are, what the constraints are. So I would say that most chefs, the way I've seen the industry in last 3 decades, I would say that our focus, the food, the way we were looking at it was restaurant style food was the biggest focus. But look at 5 years, and that was something which would people going out eating in restaurants. But 5-6 years ago, a lot of convergence started to happen. That convergence was the restaurant style food also started to come in at home, right? And people were getting that food from restaurants into home. Also, people were cooking restaurant style food at home. What was it doing? It was cannibalizing the restaurant business. In some sense, it was cannibalizing. But what has also happened, that home style food opportunity has also gone into outside eating. In last 5 years, that happened. People did not make that shift in restaurant industry. They did not see that as an opportunity. People who saw that as an opportunity, who can see that the business of home style food is much bigger. So I would say that till you start your own business, start learning more home style food. When I say learning, most chefs, they can't make even chapati at home. They may be very good at rolling rumali rotis, but home style chapati, baski nahi hai Indian chefs ke itna aasani se nahi banti hai, right? Now, I would say get to that skill. Don't be ashamed of learning from a maid who may be coming at your house, from your sister, from your mother, or whoever. And that could be a very good opportunity. Add your speciality to it. Because what happens is, not what you are trained at may not be the best market that may be sitting there, right? So you have to understand what is your area of influence. It could be a building that you live in. It could be just maybe just 1 square kilometer, maybe 500 square meters around where you live. Reach out, knocking on doors. Remember that, right? It could be create a WhatsApp group of 50 people. Start small, does not matter. So it's something which I can tell you, we keep on thinking, but I'll give you an example for this from this morning. My mother-in-law stays in Pune. She has a maid who cooks very good food. Now, because she used to work in other homes, she has lost that opportunity. So she said that I can make chakli and I can make this, and what should I price it at? Now she's already started doing that, so much so, and then she reached out. My mother-in-law called my daughter. My daughter went to my wife, and my wife went to the market, and she's okay. Let me check what the price of chakli is, and she gets chakli from market to see what the price is, and that would be shared with her. Now look at somebody who's not trained in doing this. What is that person doing? That person is hungry, she's okay to fail. So see, does not matter how small it is. So one, keep on learning, learn more intricacies of home style cooking, blend it with your uniqueness, create your own area of influence, and reach out with a, don't think that everything is about opening a restaurant. If you can cook food, there are people who are not from this trade. I have two friends, husband and wife. During this period, today they do about 14 to 15 lakhs a month. They've created, yes, they serve Kerala style food in Mumbai. And yeah, they're called Nair on Fire. Right? So that's.
I have tried Nair on Fire. It's really good.
Yeah.
Food.
So Vinod, Vinod was he owned Clear PR. He was a public relations person. He learned how to cook. He became a chef. When I say chef, so if he can do that, we can become public relations and sales people and marketing people also, right? So yeah, but start now. There is nothing more precious than time. Don't waste it. Don't wait for perfection. Start not tomorrow, not today. Start now.
Super. I think that's great advice. And also, what you said about just being open to learning from as many people as possible and not closing your mind to, I'll learn only this, or this is the kind of source where I need to learn from. I think that's very essential for anyone looking, for anyone really, whether you're running your own business or anything, just to be open to learning constantly. Sanjeev, I know we're running out of time, so I'm going to quickly ask you a couple of questions more. But while we're on that learning topic, if you could tell us a little bit about the Culinary Academy that you've launched. It's definitely something that's exciting for a lot of people. What I found particularly interesting is it's not just food, but it's also skill sets and a whole bunch of things like that. So could you tell us a little bit more about that?
Yeah, so we launched this Sanjeev Kapoor Academy on a platform called Nourish, and where anyone can launch that. So it's not that to me; it's an open platform, and there are hundreds of such platforms worldwide. You can do that. So what we have done is we have currently launched 3 courses. One is a course if you want immunity boosting foods. So we give you recipes how to boost your immunity, because we felt that this was a need, and that's our kind of outreach through our social media. We have millions of them. So we just tell them that this is what we are going to teach. The conversion is bound to happen, right? So I just yesterday there was a small call that I did. So Nourish person who has started this, and he says the response is very good, and he says forget October, we've already done good numbers. He says now November we should do about 30 lakhs in month of November. Now just 3 courses. One is on immunity boosting food. There are 2 courses. One is on how to start your food business from home, cooking restaurant style food. And second is starting your food business from home with the home style food, right? Because both are different. But we talk about how to set up a business, what is needed, because there are many things, especially, I'm not saying chefs, maybe they may know it, but especially women at home who want to contribute, they may not know that. So FSSAI registration is important. You need to have a bank account. You need to have a GST number. You need to have, so all of that information is needed. And if we can get it at one place, and also coupled with food and recipes and things like that, makes a good choice. We would be adding more courses. Next course we are doing is on food for diabetic people. So we would be looking at more health problems that are there, and we are creating courses around that. So that's on Sanjeev Kapoor Online Academy.
Lovely. I think that's going to be very relevant for a lot of people who are on this call. Sanjeev, my last question to you, I know we're running out of time, so just trying to make sure that we have as many questions as possible. But of course, you're very busy. You have your hands in many pies and pots and pans. How do you make sure that that you take a break? Really, it's very important, of course, to stay busy, but it's also very important to take a break, and to make sure. And taking a break right now is a bit difficult because you can't really physically go somewhere to take a break. So how have you been sort of balancing your time during the lockdown?
So I would say that I've been lucky. See, for me, a break is being at home, being with the family, which normally I have to travel a lot. So it's an extended break that I've had. And fortunately, I've also been, and when you have friends in the hotel industry, so we are lucky in when the hotel started to open. So I made a visit to Taj Hotel, Nasik. We drove down to, and thanks to my dear friend Puneet Chatwal. And when we knew that we were safe, he was also there. We had no issues. And again, within city, we took time out and had a couple of nights here and there. We've been able to do that. Would I want more of it? And anyone and everyone I've been talking to, I've been encouraging that take the break, and because we need to support the hotel industry. And I've been saying that take those short breaks. It does not matter. You live in Mumbai, it does not matter. Go and stay for 2 nights in a hotel, and you'll be supporting them, and it will be a nice break for them. And I know many friends have done that now, and I'm glad that's happening. So for me, quite honestly, it's not been a challenge to take that break. Good thing is that whatever I do, whether it is work or it's pleasure, I do it with 100%. I'm involved in it, and I only do it if I enjoy. So I say this that I'm lucky, and that's when I said that success to me is freedom. I only do things that I want to. There's nothing that I do that I need to. So I have no need for money. I have much more than I need. Fortunately, my needs are not too many. So I'm happy with what I have. So I am always relaxed with the things that I do because I want to do them, and I want to do more of that.